Today we are on a very tight schedule and I'm still going to get a good session in. And if you guys follow my principles, you'll understand how to get a very effective session in a very short amount of time. Now, we're doing chest. I shouldn't say chest. If I was a bodybuilder, I'd say chest. But I'm doing bench press. This is a priority. So that's something you can take home. The difference between a bodybuilder's programming focus and a strength athlete's programming focus is a bodybuilder's programming focus is muscle specific and a strength athlete's training focus is movement specific. So today is push-pull. In particular, I'm going to be doing bench press with pull downs as well as arms. So it's a 2-day program at the moment. On the weekend, so this is a funny one, it's a little bit messy to be honest with you. And I've been instructed by one of my training partners to go easy today so we can have more fun on Saturday. But you guys do the maths, right? So Saturday and Wednesday is my training days for bench, which is not set out very correctly because it's like I've only got 2 days rest. Saturday is going to be 4 days rest and then here's 2 days rest. So it doesn't really add up, right? So therefore, this session, I've got to train for it to be stimulating, but not so hard that it interferes with the great session on Saturday. What do I do? What do I do? Do I betray my team and just perform well today? Or do I go conservative so that on Saturday I can be performing at a high level? Now here's the thing. You might be asking, why don't you just perform well twice? Some people can, but I typically respond very well with a heavy session and a light session. Because it's also because I'm at a level now where I'm lifting quite heavy. So if you've been following, I posted on my Instagram page that last Saturday I bench pressed 210 kilograms, which I'm very, very happy about. I'll tell you why I'm happy. Because for weeks, it was kind of like that was the goal for the last program. But I didn't end up doing it because I started noticing that my pecs were sore. They were sore because I was benching pretty heavy 2 times a week, right? And that's the negatives. Once you start getting strong enough, your body needs more recovery than that. So that's why the perfect blend of a heavy session and a light session is favorable. So I hadn't been going heavy, and I was due to do my 210, but just didn't do it. Because it's like, I know that feeling in my pec. It's kind of like telling me that if I go heavy today, I'm not going to be happy with the outcome. I don't want to say pec tear, but anyway, I said it. That's what I was avoiding. But either way, I did the 210 on the weekend, and it was 0 pain. So I'm very, very happy with that. My heavy sessions, I've been requested by my team, the cream team. That's what they call them. That's what we call ourselves, the cream team. So if you're following, that's me, Vasa, and Reese. And we've been doing our sessions together on Saturday. And that's over on, our last session was on the Cult Strength page. But maybe, because my videographer wasn't available that day. Very upsetting. Very upsetting. Maybe he's available this Saturday. No, who doesn't work on the weekends, man? Anyway, whatever. He's working, just not for me. He's working for his other favorite people, the people that he actually likes. Anyway, so that's what's happening. So this Saturday session, if you want to see my Saturday session, that's going to be on, thank you, brother. That's going to be on Cult Strength page. Don't give that guy a follow. That's little Reese. We didn't figure it out yet. I was either 1, 2, or 3. We didn't know. It depends on how you judge it. I'm definitely not the strongest. I like that though. How's that? Like I'm a pretty good bencher. 210 kilograms is what I did on the weekend. My best is 250, but I'm the weakest in the team. Have you heard the saying, if you're the strongest in the room, you're in the wrong room? Yeah. Well, therefore, I must be in the right room. Because my training partners are stronger than me. Anyway, today is my light day. Well, Well, it's supposed to be my light day. But logistically, it's not sitting right with me because no matter what I do, it's going to interfere with my performance on Saturday because it's not enough rest. So if I go too light, it's not even, like if I go light enough that it doesn't interfere with Saturday, is it stimulating enough for me to move forward? Maybe not. That's my dilemma. So what I might do, I know you're thinking, this guy's overthinking like a mofo. What I might do is just see how it goes. Maybe this session will be my heavier session, which isn't going to be a 1 rep max. The plan was to do my heavy session is going to be a 3x3, and then the light session is going to be a high rep. So maybe today will be my 3x3. What could I do for 3x3? What do you think I can do for 3x3? You're not wrong. I can do 190. Actually, I did that a few weeks ago, but I did 2 sets of 3 on 190. Yeah, we have it on the channel. I did 2 sets of 3 at 190. So technically, I should be able to do more than that. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you've got to, because this is kind of like the start of the new block. So do you know my rules with starting a new block? Start conservative to allow room to progress. So maybe Musti, you're right. Maybe 185 is a good number. So we go over a 4-week block, we go 3x3 on 185, then 190, then 195. And then, see how that sets us up for success on week 4, which would be 200 kilograms. So do you know what I do for my deloads? So my deload strategy is to maintain the progression. So maintain the load, but reduce the volume by cutting the total amount of sets in half, or sometimes even more. So if this was the case, I'd be doing something like 185 today for 3x3. I think that's a nice start. And then I finish on 200 kilograms for 1 set of 3. That's my deload. So I still go heavy, right? And if I get 200 for 3, because when was it? 2 weeks ago, I got 200 for 2, which I was very happy about. So if I can move that to 200 for 3 on week 4, do you see how we're kind of, like we're saving room for progression? So 185 for 3, I already did 190 for 3 a few weeks ago, like a month ago. You guys have seen it if you're following. But it's not about today's session. It's about setting myself up for 4 weeks' time to hit my 200 kilograms for 3 reps. If I hit 200 kilograms for 3 reps, critter, what does that make me? Strong. It makes me strong. It makes me strong. Hey, check out Critter. So this guy, he's not mic'd up, so you can't hear him, but Critter is one of the coaches here at Strength System. Now, he was the first Australian to total 10 times body weight. Is that right? Correct. And he's done that twice. Sorry, in 2 weight classes, I should say. He's done it multiple times in 2 weight classes. So the heaviest weight class was a 75 kilo class. You did, what was your best total? Was it 750 on the dot? 767 in the 75 class. That's outstanding. So in the 75 class, so what's your squat? Best squat?
In 75 was 307.
So that's more than 4 times body weight. What was your best deadlift in 75?
In competition, it was 300.
So 4 times body weight, deadlift, 4 times body weight, squat, and bench?
Bench was, at Pro was under 80.
You've done 180 kilograms. Yeah, so it's well over. So all you have to do is like bench press 160 to double body weight, and you're doing 180. That's pretty strong, don't you think? Anyway, stronger than me. He's actually, when I thought I was really good and strong, and I came and set my first Australian record, I thought I was best lifter for the day, and I waited behind for the awards, because I was like, I came first in the 90 class back then. And I was like, I may as well wait and pick up my award for best lifter. And they're like, and the best lifter award goes to Critter. And I'm like, who the F is Critter? Anyway, it was this guy. He beat me. So whatever.
Still remember that?
Of course, I can't forget that. Why would I?
The day before.
What happened the day before? So you came in for the weigh-ins? Right.
Yeah. Not watching you.
Yeah, but I was we're all there in the saunas and jumping on the scales and all that stuff.
I was like, that's Sebastian.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Because you were kind of like new in the scene.
Never done it.
Yeah, right. And then you just come in and just take the fucking
I was
title.
trained, obviously, but
But you'd never really competed or anything. You were just coming in for a bit of fun, just come and just bruise everyone's egos and leave. Isn't that nice of him? Lovely fella. Anyway, he's going to be unracking me for today. So let's, can you unrack me for this, please? It's light, but can you please just unrack me? So what we'll do, so if you guys have been following, you know that I like to calibrate. So of course he knows how to unrack, but it's kind of new every time you unracking for a new person. Okay, on my breath. Lovely one. Critter, lovely one. What's that?
It's different than our.
Yeah, for sure. Critters, that's the first time you've unracked for me, isn't it? Yep. Feeling good, feeling good. I teach a few different rules with it, but it's okay, it works. It works. We're gonna go like this, 125, 145, 165, 185. Sounds a bit logical, doesn't it? Yeah, so how many reps did I just do? Something like that. So my warm-ups. So this is for you guys at home. We were talking about warm-ups before. And something that a lot of people do with their warm-ups is, they just do it wrong. So there's a lot of things that people do wrong with their warm-ups. But I'll tell you what I like to do is I like to choose my logical incremental increases. Here it's like 20 kilograms, 20 kilogram jumps. But I'm also quite strong. So 20 kilogram jumps would be quite a lot. If you're benching like 100 kilograms, don't do 20 kilo jumps. Right, but I'm benching, the goal today is 185 kilograms. So what I like to do is 20 kilo jumps, and people are like, well, is it fatiguing to do a lot of sets? Well, this is how I do it. So for like, I did warm-ups on dumbbells, and then I get to, you know, my first weight here, 60 kilos. I don't know how many I did, maybe 8 or 10, then 80 kilograms, 5. I just did 3. Yeah. So then I'll just do 1, 1, 1, 1. Do you know what I'm saying? So 125, I'll just do 1, just to feel it. It's like I'm warm at this point. It's not about warming up anymore. It's about teaching my body to accept the weight that I'm about to hold. So let's do that again. I said 1, but I ended up doing 2. Anyway, the next one I'll do 1. So 125, 145. So 3 more sets before I'm on. Yeah, well, what it was, actually, it was too light to just do 1 rep. That wouldn't have felt like anything, actually. I still need, legend, thank you, brother. I need some type of stimulation. Now I'll do singles. Good one. Cool. 65, 85. Good. Good. He said, how was that? Better? You know, it's just good. Like, you know, a good bencher understands the importance of a good unrack. Pop my cherry with each other. Yeah, so that's the thing. You gotta calibrate. You gotta calibrate, you know. I know a lot of people when they train, it's just like, they ask anyone who's in the gym, hey, can you spot me? Can you unrack me? And it's like, I could never do that. You are playing, to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Like if you're lifting 100 kilograms and under, as a guy my size, like body weight and all that stuff, it's like, it doesn't really matter. But when you get to a certain level, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. When I'm unracking for myself with these weights, to be honest with you, this is probably the heaviest that I would do. I wouldn't go above this anymore. I used to bench press, I used to unrack over 200 kilograms and it was okay, but now, it takes me out of position. So let's talk about position that I want to be in. For my bench press, I need to have my shoulder blades, so watch this, back and down. So I'm arching my upper back. So the way that I like to think about my bench press, my shoulder position in a bench press is the bottom position of a lat pull down. So this is how I teach people. Imagine you're doing a lat pull down. So grab it from here, shoulder blades back and down with your chest up high. Whoop. That's the chest and shoulder position, which is this, right? I know I look silly. Then from here, arms in front. That's the position that I like to teach. Now, here's the thing with the unrack. To unrack a heavy weight, you kind of need to use your pecs and kind of push with your whole shoulder, which takes your shoulder blades out of position. So the unracker allows you to just push with your elbows, right? While you focus on keeping the shoulders in position. Now, when I'm unracking by myself, it's almost impossible for me to unrack the weight by myself and keep my shoulders back. Now, some people say, well, just put them back when you're in position. Yeah, that's all good and well, except for when you have a big weight in your hand. Like for me, 185 kilograms. Once I protract to unrack that weight, because the weight's so heavy in my hand, I can no longer retract because the bench that I'm laying on is restricting my shoulder blades from being able to move freely in that position, right? So that's why. And I always recommend it now. When I was younger, I thought that it didn't matter because I was able to do it. But now I teach the importance of using an unracker if you want to get the absolute most out of your bench press so that you can maintain that position from start to finish. All right, 165, 1 rep. I'm going to put some chalk because that barbell feels a bit slippery. I definitely should. Good one. Wow. Lovely. Thank you. You know, there's a sequence, right? I'll tell you sometimes what I like to do. This is silly. I like to do everything, like load the plates and all that. Then I can sit down and enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, if I'm doing this, I still have work to do. I can't enjoy it. But anyway, look at my fucking training partner. Excuse my language. He's doing all the hard work. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I can be selfish. I love recording for this reason. Interestingly, it doesn't feel like it kind of feels heavy in my hands. I'm a bit tired, all of that stuff, whatever, not an excuse like that. It's just like, sometimes it just doesn't feel awesome. So you do it, it's like, oh, do I have the top set? And then I come back to look at it. And I'm sure you guys will agree, that moved very much like how the first warm-up set moved. It looked like there was not much weight on the bar, which gives me a whole bunch of confidence to come into the top set and say, of course, when you move 165 like that, 3 reps on 185, of course you'll get that. So now I'm going to get my game face on. We'll go for our top set in about, oh wait, 5 minutes after that. That felt, interestingly, hard. But then I was feeling the speed of it going, huh. Yeah, how's that? Like, I felt like on completion of the third rep, it was like, I think that was good. Yeah, we'll do 2 more sets of that. Happy. Happy. All right, 2 more sets. How much time have I got? I've got to do a presentation in 1 hour and 9 minutes. So, hey? Yeah. No, to do 2 more sets of this and then do my arms as well. Yes, I can. So this will be finished. So I'm going to be doing 8-minute rest between sets. And then, so that means, 16 more minutes to finish this. And then I've got just an arm day, so just arm pump. And I will tell you now, this is going to interfere with my performance on Saturday. So I'm going to let the cream team down. And while they're doing heavy, I'm just going to be doing my light day, which will be lighter loads. I'll still be working hard, but it'll be more of like a, I guess, a hypertrophy stimulus. This is my current situation, is my legs. If you've been following, my last session ended quite abruptly. So what happened was I felt my quadricep twinging during my deadlift. So if you guys remember, I tore my quadricep. It was a very mild tear, but I tore my quadricep doing a squat, same weight, 270 kilograms. It was the second rep, and I felt it go pop. Damn it. Anyhow, so during that time, I thought, all right, now's a great opportunity to work my deadlifts. So I came back with stiff-legged deadlifts to take the quadriceps out of the equation. And then I thought, right, so now my quadriceps slowly getting better. I'm going to add deadlift, deficit. So the bigger the deficit, the more you have to bend your knees, the more quadriceps you use. So that was like intentional. It was like, oh, I want to load my quadriceps with something that's not as quadriceps-y as a squat. Anyhow, pause deficit deadlifts, got the first rep, which actually looked pretty good. And then the second rep, I didn't say anything on the camera because I'm like, no, be positive, it's okay, it's fine. But then I was just sitting there just going, yeah, I hurt it again. So the good news is I didn't hurt it that badly, but it was badly enough to know that I was bringing my big, heavy quadricep work in too soon, and I need to be a little bit more sensible. So, you know, this was actually a week ago from today. So what I'm doing is just very light hypertrophy work for my lower body now. And I think, you know, all that needs to be done is like a few weeks of light work, just so I don't re-injure myself. Either way, the beauty of this is I can focus on bench press now, but I don't want to be silly with it. I don't want to say, I can just push the bench press forward. You know, it's just not going to interfere with my bench press, but I still need to be smart about it. So today's the heavy day. Saturday with the cream team, I'm just going to have to use that as my hypertrophy session. Okay, a couple more minutes. Get my game face on, focus. Set number 2. I pushed it in the wrong groove in the second rep.
Where did that get caught?
It didn't get caught. I just misgrooved it. Did you see it went slow on the second rep?
Yeah, no, I saw that went forward.
Yeah, but it wasn't hard. The first rep flew.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, and then the second went like off. But then I knew it wasn't hard. But it's all good. We got there. Easy?
Yeah, this went easy.
What the fuck happened? Good one. That was the easiest set. How funny. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
5, 85
That's my homie.
I forgot about that. Like, where the fuck is he going?
I didn't forget about him. That's my homie. Yeah, he was watching in the mirror. I know he was. I know he was. He's got my back, bro. You know, when you were off in Turkey and Critter was back in Melbourne, you know, and James was doing CrossFit at the CrossFit gym, you know, my homie was here. My homie was here. Where were you? Huh? All right, now, next up, I'm gonna do a bit of, thank you, bro. I'm gonna do some arm work. Now, this is just easy. I'm really happy with that. 3x3 on 185. I could have easily done 190 for 3x3, which is nice. That's what I like to do. It's like you think of a number you can do on day one, save that for next week, and do, you know, like 5 kilograms or 5%, whatever it is. Do lighter than that on week 1. So that's the strategy. Think of what you can do on week 1, save that for week 2. Week 1, let's go 5 kilograms lighter, or whatever it is. Do 1 increment lighter. How is that going to look? Of course it's going to be easy. See, I made an error. I misgrooved the 2nd rep. And then what did I do for the 3rd rep? I got it easily because the weight was conservative, right? So that's why you start conservative. You allow room for little errors. You allow room for progression the following week. So I think today I could have done 190, but I didn't. I did 185. So therefore, do I think next week I'll do 190? Of course, I could have done it this week. So what do you think 190 is going to look like next week? So after today, you know, I should get some type of a training effect, some type of stimulus, and then next week, 190 hopefully will look like that. Now I've got 2 great weeks of progression, and then I have a lot of confidence to come in on week 3 and hit 195 for 3x3. In theory, we're going to see. Now, if I hit 3x3 on 195, do you think it's possible that I get 1 set of 3 on 200? You know, of course, that sounds logical. It sounds like I can. Of course, anything can happen, and I'm not going to underestimate what 300 for 3 is. But that's how I think about my 4 weekly progression. And if you apply that to your training, it's just logical. It's putting you in a position to be able to apply the principle of progressive overload. So a lot of people come in and it's just like week 1, train as hard as I can. Let's just say I did that here. I trained as hard as I could on week 1. What do you think I could get? Like I'd do the first set of 190, and this is what a lot of people do. 190, yeah, I got it. Why don't I try 195 on the 2nd set, because I think I'll get that too. And then maybe you'll get it. Let's just say I did that today. 190 on 1st set, easy. 195 on the 2nd set, maybe I got it. And then on the 3rd set, I missed the 3rd rep. Like that's kind of how a lot of people look when they train. That's not bad, but what do you do next week? What do you do next week? It makes it pretty hard to progress, right? As well as you're pushing yourself to a point where you're borderline failing reps, or you know, you're gonna come in and just set yourself up for, I know I'm gonna be grinding out. Like today I came in 185, I was pretty confident, and that was why. Anyway, next up, arms. All right, my choice of exercises for arms. I'm gonna superset cables today. I feel like I would like to just kind of take it a little bit easier. I'm gonna kind of pump through this set because I've got an appointment to go to. So what I'm gonna do is alternate between triceps and biceps. So tricep press downs, bicep curls. Okay, you know, this is the whole stack. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can do about this. I've got strong triceps, it's nice, but what I'm gonna do is a rep-related cycle. So, you know, maybe I'll do sets of 10 today. Next week, sets of 11, the next week, sets of 12, because I can't really go heavier. This is the whole stack. Okay, I lied, I did 15. That was too easy to do 10s. 15, I kind of felt like that was challenging. So the thing is with arms, you know, upper body, so bench press, big movements like that, taking it to fail is fatiguing. It's hard to progress. Light movements like arms, taking it to fail, you're fine. I didn't take that to fail. I'll do a couple of sets of it, like maybe the next set I'm gonna do minimal rest. I'm saving myself so that I can do multiple sets of that with minimal rest because I don't have time, not because I think minimal rest is a good thing. I always think, if in doubt, rest for a little bit longer, get a more complete rest so that you get a better recovery, so that you can lift a heavier weight. Even if your goal is hypertrophy, a lot of people say for hypertrophy, rest less, because you kind of want the fatigue, because that's how we increase mechanical tension. Incorrect. Even if your goal is hypertrophy, the way you perform matters. If you've got the option to rest for a little bit longer, that's my recommendation every single time. But for strength, the performance absolutely does matter. The amount of weight you lift is absolutely crucial. So for strength, there's no arguing. Everyone agrees that longer rest is important. It's only for hypertrophy where people say shorter rest is better for hypertrophy. I disagree. Performance always matters. Longer rest for hypertrophy allows you to lift heavier weights. and allows more mechanical tension, which is the main driver for hypertrophy. Don't intentionally aim for fatigue. That's not the goal. Aim for fatigue during the set, so work as hard as you can to take the movement close to fail, but then get a full recovery so that we can do another high quality set straight after that. Okay, next up, biceps. My biceps aren't as strong as my triceps, so let's see how we go. Well, to be honest with you, no, they don't right now. I don't need them. I only had it for the bench press, and the wrist wraps also don't matter. I just haven't really taken that off. And now the beauty of having them off is you can see the arm pump, which is also an important part of arm training. Just to flex in the mirror, do you know what I mean? Okay. Okay. That felt really easy on the first couple of reps. I will go heavier because I don't really like doing 15s. I did 15s on the tricep because it's very easy. So if I have a choice, I will go heavier. So let's go back to same weight for triceps, do another set of 15. And on my next bicep set, I'm gonna go slightly heavier. Nah, you know what? You don't even have to watch this. I'm gonna do a few more sets and then I'm done. So YouTube thinks that you should watch this video next. Until next time, follow my programming principles. This is the stuff that's taken me so many years to develop and learn, either by learning from academics and coaches or putting myself under the barbell and practicing all of these methods. I've done so many things that don't work, and now I kind of just don't do them anymore. I do the stuff that does work. Hopefully you can see that with my performance. I am quite strong, and if you want to do the techniques that I do, I promise you, you will succeed.